Morning, everyone. Let me start off by saying that Black Lives Matter, and that's what this is all about. People feel like Black lives don't matter, and I want you to know, as your chief of police, that I acknowledge that feeling and that Black lives matter. All life has value, no matter who we are, and people need to understand that. Mayor Kastner and I have been shoulder to shoulder for the last 36 hours, and it's been a trying time in our city. And last night, as I sat there and reflected on what has been happening in our city, I realized how much sleep our cops have not gotten, the hours that they have worked, and how tired they are. And then I reflected on the fact that George Floyd's family is tired and what they must be going through. And I want everybody to understand that my heart breaks for his family and what is going on not only in our city and not only in our nation. When cooler heads prevail, I want everyone to know that we promise, as a police department and as a city, that we will work with everyone to rebuild the trust and the communication in our community. The first step that I will take as your chief of police is that I will shut up and listen to you. But I cannot listen while we have any civil unrest in our city. We will restore order. We will do everything that we can to make sure that we can have an open, peaceful dialogue. I'd like to thank the members of the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, Pasco Sheriff's Office, Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, Tarpon Springs Police Department. With us today, I have the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, Tampa International Airport Police, and the Florida National Guard. You know, we could not have done it without them yesterday, and we were able to restore order. Yesterday afternoon and last night, we made 21 arrests. Mostly all of them were from Hillsborough and Pinellas County. Those charges range from burglary, battery, disorderly conduct, and violation of the curfew. We had 3 vehicles damaged. We had 1 business damaged, that was the Hope's Food Store. Mayor?
All right. Thank you all. I just want to thank the community, thank the citizens, thank those individuals who came out to peacefully express their positions, their opinions, and continue to do so in a peaceful fashion. As has always been the case, the individuals that cause problems, that are out here being violent, being disruptive, causing property damage, are the minority. Very, very few. The majority of individuals came out and peacefully expressed themselves. And again, that's what law enforcement is there for, is to provide that platform by which everyone is able to express themselves in whatever way, shape, or form that they choose. So I too want to echo the thanks, the appreciation. As you all know, it's always a team effort here in the city of Tampa, and it's wonderful to see everyone come together and work to keep our community safe. We are going to continue the curfew for this evening. I apologize, as I did yesterday, for any inconvenience that it may cause our community, but that slight inconvenience really pales in comparison to our ability to keep all of our citizens safe. And that is the purpose of the curfew. We don't anticipate that we will have any issues this evening, but just in an abundance of caution, we are going to go one more evening with the curfew. So again, I thank everyone for keeping our city safe, mostly to all of the first responders, whether it be from our jurisdiction or others, whether it's on the local, state, or federal level. Everybody came together with a unified objective, and that was to keep our citizens safe and to keep our city safe while allowing everyone to express themselves. So thank you all very much. We'll open it up to questions, whatever you guys have.
Other behavior section news. I do have a question. You know, there's this theory that outside agitators were the ones that caused most of the damage and violence. What would you say? Are you guys looking into that? Are you trying to figure out who is really responsible?
Sure, we're continuing to look into that. You've all seen it, the videos, the photos of individuals, the agitators, the ones that are causing the property damage out there in the community. So these investigations aren't over. You know, 41 arrests Saturday into Sunday, 21 arrests Sunday into Monday. It is our intent that there won't be any more arrests in progress, but to continue to look at those crimes that were committed during those 2 days and bring further charges to the individuals that were causing the disruption and causing the damage. As to the outside agitators, you know, the chief can answer this question as well. I haven't seen any evidence that there are outside agitators, but anecdotally, when you look at some of the individuals and the way that they are conducting themselves, it appears that not necessarily causing the damage, but agitating the crowds towards physical damage and or violence is apparent.
Yes, yesterday afternoon we had the Black Lives Matter march, probably one of the largest marches that I have seen in my 30 years at the Tampa Police Department. But when it ended, and that's what the Black Lives Matter march was, peaceful. They worked with us. They told us who the agitators were. I think the misperception, especially in Tampa, about the Black Lives Matter march is they're not anti-cop. They're anti-police brutality, as we all should be. And they feel like they're not being heard, and that's why they are doing what they're doing. But at the end of the march, because it was so large, the people who have ill intent started trying to do different things. At 22nd and MLK, the heart of the black community, they broke into a grocery store, and we're just not going to let them tear down any of our community, but especially the black community. They're suffering as it is. We don't need any more of this. And so I don't want the Black Lives Matter march mixed in with a few people who have ill intentions. And that's why we made the arrest, took some of the actions that we had to take out there. It was late in the afternoon during daylight. But what it appears to be is the agitators kind of vanish once they get everybody else going. And but we definitely saw different crowds. When I was at our District 3 office last night, just south of MLK on 22nd Street, I assure you the protesters that were out there trying to engage with police were not the people that live there. We know the people that live there. Now, they were watching it, but the agitators, the ones trying to engage with police, were not the ones who live there.
Do you see the curfew as helpful last night? And Mayor, you mentioned that you don't anticipate any issues tonight. Does that make the curfew necessary tonight? Do you have no intelligence that anything would happen here?
You want me to hit? The reason I had asked the mayor for a curfew, the issue is when the peaceful protests are over, the people who have bad intentions use the cover of darkness to create problems. That's what happened Saturday night. I think they tried to do that last night. We were much better prepared for it. The other reason I have asked for it is because we're having tough times getting our first responders into locations. Saturday night up on Fowler Avenue, we struggled getting fire rescue there because of the traffic. When you have the people that want to see what's going on. And so that's really what it's about, and that's what people need to look at the curfew. It's okay, we're trying to get foot traffic and cars off the street so that we can respond quicker. We do not know where these protests are going to take place. They just kind of pop up, and that is what this whole thing is about.
Chief, it almost seems secondary at this point that we're still in the middle of a pandemic. You have a lot of people gathering
what kind of concerns, what kind of message do you want to send to these folks as we're still dealing with this whole other situation?
Well, we had 5 officers yesterday exposed to somebody tested positive for the COVID-19. We're still determining whether that was a protester. My concern on Saturday morning was they were in the face of the police officers. The difficult for our cops to wear masks and work on the street sometimes is you start sweating. It can block your vision. Everybody that's wearing them sees that. I have mine on. You can't always speak and be heard when you're wearing your mask. And so it's problematic for our cops when they're out there engaging with people to wear that. It'll be interesting to see how many people get exposed to, especially our first responders.
Sir, is your entire force working right now? That's question 1. And 2, how beneficial is it to have the National Guard there? Will they remain here?
No, the mayor, I believe you're releasing them, correct? The National Guard? Yeah, we're releasing the National Guard. They were very helpful last night because they were able to provide security at different locations. But you know, we are bringing in extra patrol, extra people to help, and I think we have a good plan going forward for that.
Can you specify where the National Guard was?
I'm sorry.
Can you talk about where the National Guard was last night and some of the tactics, the non-lethal tactics that were used?
Well, the National Guard, we had them at some, I believe we had them on some different locations on Dale Mabry. And what was the second part?
Can you talk about any non-lethal tactics used by police and National Guard?
The National Guard did not engage in any of that. They were brought in to provide security at specific locations. Yes, we did have to use some non-lethal tactics last night with the protesters. You know, they need to understand they're not going to throw rocks and bottles at the police or anyone else. And when you take those actions, we're going to take swift actions.
Can you specify what kinds of non-lethal actions?
We use a variety of tactics. So, I'm sorry.
To be specific about the National Guard as well, they were deployed on some county buildings in the downtown area, and then some others. As I said when I talked about the request to the state for the National Guard, that they would be used as a preventative step, you know, to be at some of those high-value locations, some government buildings, to ensure that if groups bent on property damage showed up, they would see the National Guard there and would not engage. And they have done a great job. I'm very, very appreciative of their service. And as far as the COVID-19, that is, you know, it's an issue that certainly is in the forefront of all of our minds, because our cases here in Hillsborough County are continuing to go up. I stated from the very beginning, as we opened our community up, we would see an increase in positive cases of COVID-19, but we had to ensure that that was proportional and that we weren't seeing any surges. So we still have those surveillance systems in place. We're looking at geographic locations that are showing increases. We are mapping all of the positive cases. We're mapping all of the symptomatic cases. And then we're also following the publicly available information on travel so that we can identify those hot spots and get out there. But it is a concern. And, you know, we all know, too, that the science shows that the COVID-19 virus disproportionately affects the black and brown communities. So bringing hundreds of individuals in close contact, talking very loudly, you know, it's also been shown that the ease of transmission, especially through the face-to-face contact, when there is loud speaking or any type of volume or close proximity, allows the spread of this virus. So that's something that I would hope everyone would be aware of as well. Don't know that you ever heard law enforcement or any government official encourage individuals in any type of marches to wear masks, but we are now. So that's what we're asking everybody. And again, with the curfew, that was put in place for the safety of our community, and we are just asking everyone, including the peaceful protesters, to please stay home. Voices have been heard over the weekend. They've been heard loud and clear, and as the chief indicated, you know, we have got to get to a point where we can all sit down and we don't have these distractions in our way, and we can talk down or sit down and talk about those long-term solutions to these systemic issues in not only in our community but nationwide.
Last question. Can you also talk about the University Mall area that has been in the process of gentrification? They're trying to remake that mall into something very new, putting up housing in the area. So I guess how is what happened on Saturday night going to impact that? Will it have an impact?
No, I don't think that it'll have an impact in that. I talked to Mark Sharp early Sunday and talked to a number of individuals in the particular University Mall area. I don't think that it will have an impact, but I want to sort of underscore something that Chief Dugan said. You know, you have places like University Square Mall that is being transformed into an asset for that community, lifting up that entire community, both on the county side and the city side. And then the Hope grocery store, you know, down in the heart of East Tampa, that provides a service and nourishment to the community every single day. And these are the businesses that are suffering from this. You know, the single mother that worked at Champs and now she's out of a job. You know, she just got to the point after this virus where she could go back to work and support her family, and now she's out of a job because of the actions of a few knuckleheads. So those are the things that, you know, people. Chief Dugan said that there were individuals even going through the cemetery at 22nd and MLK knocking over headstones. Who does that? Who does that? That is not a form of mourning. That's not a form of protest. That is just anarchy right there. So that's what we're just asking everyone, you know, for the clearer heads to prevail. Please stay home. And as we said, we will, as a community, continue to move forward and continue to grow in a way that the entire city is lifted up and everyone in our community gets to share in the prosperity that we are sure to recognize in the future. Thank you.